Hey guys, what's up? I'm Greg. I hope you guys are ready to unpack and get into some good conversations today.
And I'm Jess, and this is our podcast, Baggage Claim. Thank you for joining us.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Baggage Claim. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for joining us. It is one of those nights, so bear with us. Baggage Claim is
It's
just
a great night, Greg.
It is a great night.
I'm never not going to laugh when we clap.
When we clap to start, Jess laughs every time.
Every
We're
time.
30 plus episodes in, and she still does it.
33.
Yeah. So, Baggage Claim is just a place where we talk about community and we talk about relationships and marriage and all those fun things. So, I
turned it off.
The air conditioner.
There we go.
kicked on.
We're living in a wind tunnel right now.
It's
We're
okay.
just figuring it out as we go.
We're at our house, and we're in what we used to refer to as kind of like a mother-in-law suite that we converted into our podcast studio. Well,
Correct.
in this area, there's like a hotel air conditioner heater unit in the wall, and it's loud.
It's so nice when it's on.
Oh,
It
it's
is
great.
nice. Yeah. And we don't have enough money to buy the nice microphones yet to bleed that out. So
The ceiling
if
fan
somebody
is still
wants to send us a
on, too.
donation of $600,
That'll
we'll
be
buy
fine.
some.
But it's going to be okay because the ceiling fan is on too.
We need some air circulation.
Yeah. It gets hot in here.
Welcome to our home,
Anyway,
podcast family.
grab your drink, pull up to the table of this chaos with us, and jump into some fun conversations as we just dive into relationships. We've been talking about forgiveness. Jess did 2 episodes on her story of forgiveness. If you haven't caught those, make sure you listen to part 1 and part 2. Part 2 is just as good as 1. It's really, really cool.
I was just about to say, not all conversations we have are fun.
No, those were. I'm just saying those were good.
Okay.
Last week, the one that just released on Tuesday, is about just having conversations. It was all around the idea of all the controversy with Charlie Kirk and everything that happened with that. So if you haven't listened to that, check it out. It's just us chatting about those things. So, but anyway, tonight, before we jump into the topic, we're just going to do fun kind of a question time.
Oh, y'all did so good.
Thank you.
I didn't sing. I have a cough still.
We practiced it earlier.
I can
Jess
tell.
has been smoking like a pack of Marlboros a day,
Greg,
apparently.
stop.
So she's
No, I'm sick again.
yeah.
I've got my cough drops ready. Have my water. There's a lot going on. So if I cough, I'm really sorry. But that's why I didn't join on the question time trio.
All right. So do you want to go first with your question, or do you want me to go first?
Favorite pasta? We
Oh,
talking
this-
like fettuccine, spaghetti, lasagna. Like, what is it? What you
This
got?
is actually a point of contention in our family.
Really?
It actually
I had
is.
no idea. Let's
It's-
talk. Let's open this up. Let's open our baggage.
Okay. Open the baggage. Even when the kids were little, me and all 4 of our kids, we like what we have always called fun pasta, like bow ties or rigatoni,
They just
spirals.
go in there
Fancy
and they
junk.
just go freewheeling with the pasta.
We
They
do.
just grab any pasta,
No, you can't just grab any.
It's the
that-
shape,
any
whatever
pasta,
the
and they
shape.
throw it in spaghetti.
We do. It's just the shapes, the fun, quote
Gordon
unquote,
Ramsay
fun pasta
would
makes
blow
us.
his head.
I know, but it's always made us happy. And even now, with all the grown up kids, even our daughter in law included, now she wants fun pasta.
I mean,
But-
that's like using spaghetti noodles for mac and cheese.
Yes.
If you want to do that, if that makes you happy. Greg, I know your answer. Go ahead and share.
Yeah. Spaghetti noodles are for spaghetti. Fettuccine noodles are for fettuccine.
I know.
Like noodles have a place, they have a purpose,
I don't.
and you use them. It took me a while to where I could get over that. Like it just bothered me for a
But
while. and then
even
finally I'm
now,
like, I don't care.
literally, even now, up until last week, I try to, because spaghetti is pretty much a staple in our house weekly, and I try to
it's
alternate.
good.
I try to alternate. 1 week we have like normal, boring noodles, and then like the
mean
next
spaghetti
time,
You mean the one
Yeah.
that's supposed to
Yeah.
come with?
and then
The
the
ones
next
designed for
time
that.
we'll have super fun noodles. And so I try to alternate so
But see, even
everybody's
spaghetti,
happy.
like I like the regular noodles. I don't like angel hair pasta.
I was about to ask. I was literally just about to follow
Because
up with angel
That's
hair
a
or
whole
just
thing
regular
too. He
Angel
wants a
hair.
big fat
Oh,
spaghetti
yeah.
noodles.
I need
Oh,
some
yeah.
noodle
like
substance.
chewing
Don't give me
on-
the angel hair pasta.
Ugh, no,
I don't want that.
Mm-mm.
no.
Like, if
And
you want to
now,
eat that, just go put butter in it and put it in
I
a
mean,
bowl and
that's
eat it by yourself.
literally
Well, I
like
do
the
that.
equivalent of eating like a sandwich with breadsticks from Papa John's,
that's weird.
right?
Yeah.
But I don't feel like the pasta's weird. But I get to also
I
get to
get
use
pastas, bread's bread.
I get to use our granddaughter, our 1-year-old granddaughter, as an excuse. Now I'm like, Lucy can't pick up spaghetti noodles, so we have to have bow ties, or we have to have penne pasta so she can pick it up. So I'm gonna brainwash
thing I will
Lucy to
say
being on my team.
It's because you don't get a good pasta to meat to noodle ratio when you use noodles that aren't designed
That's
for.
why
can
when we
understand
use the
that.
fun noodles, I put extra sauce. There's a
Okay.
plan. I have a plan.
So my question, simple
Okay.
question.
All right,
Well,
next
you-
question.
You apparently are on Greg's team with pasta.
Yes.
Oh my God, such a surprise. Okay, your turn.
When you put your blinker on,
I'll be on your team someday.
Never.
when you put your blinker on, are
Yeah.
you asking permission or making a statement?
Ooh.
That's a great question. I think it's all contextual. Like,
I do too.
where are you at?
I'm
Circumstantial.
on the road. I'm on the road and I
Well,
put my blinker on.
obviously.
No, like if I'm on a 2-lane road and I'm about to turn right to turn into my school, I'm letting you know that's what I'm
It's
about to
making
do.
a statement.
Yeah, I'm making a statement. I'm about to turn right, so let's do this all as friends. But if we're merging,
Like, there are people who turn their
I don't-
blinker on and they just come over.
Yeah,
Like,
no
it's
matter
Yeah, I
where
was
you're
about
at.
to
So, like,
say.
if there's a car, like, what would be the blind spot, right?
Right.
And I need to get over,
yeah,
I'm going to turn my blinker on, and they're going to do one of two things, depending on how they drive. They're going to speed up and get past me,
And what kind of
so that
person
I
they
can
are.
get over, or they're going to slow down and let me over. I kind of always have thought of blinkers as how I communicate when I'm in a grocery store with a buggy. You know, like if you're going to walk down an aisle and be like, "Oh, excuse me," or like that way you're like running into people, you're just letting people know what you're doing, where you're
But how about the
going.
person in the aisle who literally leaves their buggy in the,
In the
middle
middle.
of the aisle and they just go start walking, like shopping, looking for
If
things?
they're like
that
down the
feels
other side
like
of the aisle, I'll just move the cart.
how
I
would
have
you?
moved carts also.
But if they're like right there, I'll just be like, "Oh, excuse me, squeeze by you here." You know, you always got to have like that
Yeah, that's just a
cliche
Southern
thing you say.
the merge, it can be either or. It's according to what kind of person is
No, it
near
really
you.
depends on the kind of person you
I
are.
think it is, but I think it's contextual. Like if someone's in your space, I feel like respectfully it should be a, "Hey, can I get over?" But if you're
And then the
if
person,
there's space, it's
Right.
just, "Hey, I'm letting you know."
no, you
But
can't.
I have another follow-up question since we're talking about merging.
My. Okay.
Zipper merge or no zipper merge?
Okay, let's discuss that
I'm
next week
not-
because we're
Is
going to
that-
get
is
into
that
our
next
podcast.
week?
Yeah, we
Okay.
got to get
Because
into.
you're going to have to explain that
we
to
got to get
me.
into our discussion here.
Okay.
All right, let's dig in.
So
It was my turn first to share my forgiveness journey.
right,
And you've also been on your own forgiveness journey, although it looks different. You before you and I got together, you had your own journey.
yes.
And so while you're sharing and
And everyone out there who's listening, if you listen to Jess's story, I'm sure there were tears, and I'm sure you were like, "Oh my gosh, wow!" Like, and then because this happens every time we're somewhere,
babe, you always say this. This is
oh,
it's
because
not
it's so true. And then when I share my story, they're like, "Oh,
what you do.
what'd you do? Like, what'd you do to trash your marriage?" And I was like, "Oh,
No.
thank you, thank you so much."
Well, before you start getting into that, I want to make sure that we say that we have always promised to be, and we will continue to promise to be respectful. But while we're being respectful, we're going to be real.
Trying to
with-
be as
with
real
your-
and honest as I can
Right.
because this does go around the world.
It
and,
does.
For you folks in Singapore, if you're listening to this,
Whoever you are, can you message us? Because I'm fascinated.
I would
all-
love to visit Singapore. I'm
There's
just
so
saying.
many people around the world, literally around the world, that are listening to us now, and I'm just baffled. So if you hear this and you are one of the people who are literally
Who's
around the
not-
world,
You're not in the U.S. Shoot us a DM.
please, I'm just
Or just
fascinated.
hit the text button and just say something. You can say something random or stupid, or give us some. You can give us
But-
an emoji. I don't care.
You could ask us questions we should ask each other.
Yeah,
That's
just something
true.
fun.
If you have a fun
Yeah.
question. So like while you're sharing today, there's going to be some things that we won't share on a public broadcast because of your children.
Yeah, there's nothing that I won't share. Like if we're on a one-on-one
Right.
session, if you're talking to Jess and I one-on-one,
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing I won't. I mean, I'll share my story. I'll share my faults. I'll share my bad things that I've done,
Mm-hmm.
and the parts of my life. Like I'll share those things. But there may be some things where I'm like, I don't know. As far as just for respect for Callie and Cody, our kids, I don't want to. There's some things I just be like, yeah, I don't want to talk about
Well,
that on
because
there.
they have obviously still very much have a
Yeah, and I want
relationship
to,
with their mother, and
yeah,
we're
and I want
not
to
going to
respect their
tarnish
mom.
that.
No,
And we've
no,
never tried to do that
no,
ever.
not at all. I've always tried to respect that.
Right.
So there's going to be times with that, but
Yes. And you'll hear too, if you're listening, typically, Greg is the kind of the leader of the conversations and helps drive it because that's not my strength. And so producer Michael is going to help me do that this evening because you are telling your story. And you shouldn't have to drive the whole conversation for your own story. And so, we're just a big team today.
Here we
Yay,
go.
go
Nice.
team. So you want to give us a little bit of background of maybe your experience growing up to kind of lead you towards adulthood?
Yeah, I'll be very quick too and brief. I've shared some of it, but I grew up. My dad was an abusive dad. He was an alcoholic. Drank a lot. Was very very mean to my mom and to me and my sister. Very just a messed up guy. He had a lot of issues he never unpacked and never dealt with because his life was never that. So
there was some physical and emotional.
Oh, it was lots of
abuse.
physical and lots of emotional. Like, yeah, I've been in several fist fights with my dad.
Yeah.
Several just like I've seen things that a kid shouldn't have to see.
Yeah.
In a home. Cops didn't scare me. When the cops showed up, it was always a good thing. It wasn't a big deal when the cops showed up. I actually liked it when they were around because it felt a little safer.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for my mom through all of that, Lord knows where I would be. But growing up, I was always that. I'm never going to be like this guy. I'm never going to be like this guy. I'm never going to be like this guy. I'm never going to have a broken home. I'm going to fight for a healthy marriage. I'm going to fight for like to be a good dad. I'm going to fight for all these things. And
so your childhood taught you what you did not want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
The problem is I never really had anybody like I never really had I had guys in my life with my family. My stepdad was there. He would take me hunting a lot. We would do some things
your
together.
Uncles too.
Yeah, my uncles were there. My grandfather was there to teach me work ethic and just he taught me a lot of things growing up on the farm. But in the same sense, it was like it was never just rarely a guy that I just sit down and shared my thoughts or my feelings with or just had conversations with. So I never really had a dad thing. And I mean, to this day, as sad as it is, I still don't have that. Like I don't have a dad thing. I don't have a guy in my life that if I call and said, hey, I'm wiring up the porch tonight to put some outlets on you and come hang out and have some beers and do that. Like, there's nobody to call for that other than friends that I've created and I have.
But that also taught you what kind of dad you want to be because you do have that with our boys.
I do. I probably went a little overboard from time to time. It took me a little to early on, I was very, very diligent and not to miss a game, not to miss anything that the kids were involved in.
You never missed anything.
And so it almost put so much pressure on me to always be at every event. And then I realized one time Callie was tiny. She was a little bitty thing, and we would read every night to her. And I went in to read with her one night, and we were just reading a simple book. She loved to read. And I was reading this book to her, and she just said, she goes, where's your dad? Like, I've never met him.
Because the story had a daddy in it.
Yeah, and it was something about that. And I was like, well, my dad left a while back. And she goes, why? Like, why would a dad, like, leave his kid? And I was like, and I started bawling. It was just a weird moment for me. Like, I'm laying in the bed with our little kid, and I'm just like, emotional. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I realized then I'd never really, even in my life, unpacked that whole idea and dealt with that trauma. So I started down that road of trying to do that. And I actually took Callie to meet him.
She was a baby.
Yeah, she was tiny. To try to figure out just to unpack the whole idea and just be like, all right, I can't let this control my life.
Yeah.
But my dad was so eat up with shame and guilt that he couldn't let go of all the things that he knew he had done.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, my dad died alone by himself, and he was 3 days in his house before anybody found him. And
Yeah.
so it wasn't and so when he passed away, it wasn't, but I went and had a conversation with him. I shared my faith.
Mm-hmm.
I'd become a Christian at this time, and I shared my faith and how important that was to me and how that had changed me and who I
Mm-hmm.
was now as a man and as a dad. And I encouraged him and I told him to his face that I forgave him. I was like, I'm not looking into the past. I want to look to the future.
Mm-hmm.
And so just being able to have that conversation with him was a huge step for me to learn about forgiveness because I didn't harbor anger. I just had a lot of trauma and a lot of hurt that I'd never unpacked.
Yeah.
I was angry for a while.
Mm-hmm.
That's what led me to, hey, let's start kickboxing. Let's learn how to fight. And that was probably not the best thing for me.
Right.
But it was fun. I loved it. I actually liked getting hit, which was weird.
That's strange.
It's like, yeah, just kick me in the head. And that's kind of fun.
No.
And so I realized like this is not a healthy place for me to go.
No.
And so I had to get out of that.
But all of that kind of as you're living life and you met the girl you're going to marry and what you envisioned what marriage and family was going to look like.
Yeah.
You knew what you did not want. So
Right.
you were working towards building what you did want and what you did want for your own self as a man
Yes.
and his wife. And then when y'all had kids, you knew what you wanted that to look like.
Right. And so we were very intentional.
Mm-hmm.
So even for me, like alcohol was a big thing for me. I went 11 years and never drank a drop. I just said, I'm going to walk away from alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
I can't control this right now in my life, so I'm going to walk away from it.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, I think everything in moderation
Mm-hmm.
is not, I don't care if you're a Christian. If you can't control your eating, then figure out some boundaries.
Yeah.
Like for me, I couldn't control my drinking, so I walked away for 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have a drink every night. It doesn't control me.
No.
There's alcohol in our fridge, in our fun fridge, in the laundry room. It's not
But
like,
the
I
same
gotta drink it
stuff
all.
will be there
Like,
for 2 weeks at a time.
yeah, it's just like, it's just there. And so I walked away from that. And I was like, okay, I don't want, and I did all the right things.
Quote unquote right things.
Yeah, the things the church tells me to do.
Yeah.
And I'm not bashing the church, hear me. But as a Christian, I was told, get in church, get in a small group, be involved in ministry, do these things, all these. I was a pastor at the time,
I was going
too.
to say, in the midst of all that, you felt the Lord had called you into ministry. So that was your full-time life.
Yeah, so I was teaching and preaching
Mm-hmm.
weekly as an ordained minister at that time, and just really our life evolved around church.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was very much, we're
And
in a
then
small
a little
group,
bit
I'm
later
giving,
on-
I'm tithing, I'm leading Bible studies, like youth Bible studies, college Bible studies, adult Bible. I mean, we were, our
And then
life.
she was working at the church too, a little
Yes,
bit later on.
Yes,
too.
she was. She was at the church also, and things were great. And I just think somewhere, somehow, things got off.
Yeah.
You know, in marriage, it's like everything slips. Everything has those areas. It usually starts as something small.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look back, because I look back on it a lot, and I was like, where did it go wrong? Like, where did I mess up, or where did I misstep, or what did I not see coming? I didn't see the warning lights on the dashboard pop up with the marriage, because when I noticed things were off, it was way too late.
Yeah,
it was way too late. So, and so that was that was one of those things. Even as the church, I think when I found out, it was one of those. It wasn't I went to both the people. I asked. I was just like, "Hey, what's going on?"
Both the people, meaning your wife and the other person
Yes,
in her
it was just like,
relationship.
and just like, "Hey, this seems weird. What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
There's some things. Let's figure this out." And so tried to walk that road for months and months. Nothing happened. Nothing was coming. And finally, I just kept digging until I got to a point to where it just all came to a head. Like it just all happened all of a sudden.
You mentioned seeing warning signs going off, but I think you and I talked about by the time there were some warning signs. If you tried to look back, it was already too late at that point
Yeah.
as far as her choices.
Yeah, well, we talked about too. I was like, yeah, I'm not a perfect guy. I'm not a
Right.
perfect. I mean, I'm not a perfect dude. I'm never gonna say. I'm never gonna get on here and say, "Oh, it's perfect." Yeah, there's been times in my life where I dealt with
Right.
pornography, and that was an issue. It wasn't something that run my life. It wasn't something that was there. But yeah, I had issues with it. I dealt with
Yeah.
it, and so I had guys in my life that tried to hold me accountable to those things.
Because there are two sides to every story. And
Yes.
so,
Well, I had people, literally church friends, tell me, um, and this is what baffles me about church people, that, hey, I deserved it. I did the same thing because I looked at
because you
porn.
looked at porn. Yeah.
So I looked at porn, and because my wife had infidelity or an affair, it was the same thing. And I'm like, I'm sorry,
No,
I don't
it's
know,
not.
but this is not the same thing.
No, it is not.
The Bible does say sin is sin, no matter what that looks like. But there's actually different consequences for sin too.
Right.
That's kind of the way I looked at it. So it was just, needless to say, that put me down a journey of just, man, it happened. I didn't realize, like, when it all came out, I was like, I was stunned, to say the least.
Right.
Baffled. There's a few days where I don't remember what happened. I don't remember what was going on. It was just
It's kind of like me. It was kind of you were just going through the motions, but you don't remember how you got there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Because, I mean, you and I both experienced a trauma.
yes.
And I know it's very different kinds of trauma, but you and I both were in a marriage and we thought everything was fine and we were on the path of, we're making the right choices and we're raising our family. We're having, this relationship and you have your life kind of planned out. And both of our marriages ended very abruptly and neither one of us asked for it. And so it's kind of like you go into this whole like trauma response. Like mine lasted a lot longer because the trauma was quite different. But for you,
well, yours wasn't your decision or his decision.
Yeah.
Ours feels like it was a decision made in the house.
True.
And I don't know if I can share this. I really don't. But I feel like it's a part. I feel like it's a part of because when it all came out, I remember I really, really wanted it to work. Like, even after this affair had been going on, I was like, I remember saying, and this is my side of the story, so I don't mean disrespect or shame for anyone, but
Right.
I remember asking, I was like, we have two options here. Like, the options are simple. You either tell him you're done or we're done. Like, you have to call him I have to physically see you pick up the phone and call him and tell him you're never going to talk to him again.
And she said,
and we're
no.
done. She said, I can't make that phone call. And I remember getting up from the kitchen table, and I don't remember. I was distraught. Like, I was just kind of like, and I go back to my bedroom and I start packing stuff into a suitcase for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I remember her coming back there, and she said something. And again, this is me being completely transparent. I do remember throwing a nightstand at her.
Towards her.
Yes. I don't know if I didn't hit her, I don't think. Because she was there, and I remember a dear friend of mine was there, thank God, and was standing between us and said, and I was just, when I came to my senses, he was standing between us, and I was saying a lot of inappropriate things to her, a lot of really, really mean, hurtful things. But I was just traumatized, I was hurt. And so I remember him grabbing me and saying, we have to go. And so we left and got a friend who lived across the street, took us in his car and went to Waffle House. And I remember, I remember getting out, and the song was playing, the worship song was playing when we were going over there. And it's the, I think it's the Crowder song that he come, where he talks about, heaven came down and he gave this beautiful sloppy wet kiss thing. What is the song?
Oh, yeah.
How he loves.
Yeah,
How he loves us. Yeah.
And so that song is playing, and I was just a wreck. I was just undone. I remember they're all sitting in the car because they don't know what to do either. These are three of my friends that are in this car with me. And I remember getting out of the parking lot. I just laid in the parking lot and was just sobbing, which happened to me a lot in the next few months.
Yeah.
But I think it was one of those things. It's just like, okay, this is a bad nightmare, and it's gonna. So that was the trauma of when it happened. I was like, okay, I can get past this.
Yeah.
And so we can figure this out. And so for the next few months, I did everything I could to try to make it work.
Try to fix it.
Yeah, I was, I wanted to know for myself that I had done absolutely everything I could in my willpower to make this work for us and for Callie and Cody. And it had been 14 years of marriage. So it was a lot of life. And so I tried.
Yeah.
I was fasting. I was reading God's word. I was going through a book.
There was a popular couples book out at that point that you had tried to do with her, and she would not.
Yeah, and I wound up doing it myself. It's called Fireproof.
Or like the Love Dare, Fireproof your marriage or something like that.
It was horrible for me at the time. It was probably a horrible decision. But I remember every day I would go to Eagle Ranch and I would sit in the chapel on the second row on the right-hand side, and I would just pray and cry and pray and cry. And I did that for a long, long time.
Well, what's sweet about that spot? That's where we got married.
It is a spot where we got married. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And so I remember one day I just went and God said, okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to let go. Because I felt like in that time period, I had just been beat my head against the concrete floor trying to make someone change that didn't really want to change. And I don't know why. I don't know.
You do know why, because you didn't want your kids to.
No, I don't know why she didn't want to change.
Oh,
I didn't know the
why
circumstances behind that either.
Yeah, no.
And I was
don't
fighting.
feel like you ever got those answers, though.
No, but I was fighting for the family and for the kids.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying she wasn't. She may have been in her way. I don't know if she was just still encapsulated in this affair, because it wasn't like a one night thing. It was an ongoing thing for a long time. So I get there was emotions and feelings there, but I was not the guy that's like, hey, I'm not gonna hang out at the house and just sit here while you mourn losing this guy and then decide you want to stay with me. I can't do that.
After she knew that he wasn't an option to move forward with.
Well, it wasn't. I think, and that it's weird. I think that's God's timing almost, because I had been fighting, and then I realized when God said, "Okay, we're done," I went and I said, "All right, I'm done. Let's get a divorce. Let's figure this out. I'm going to be as nice as I can. I'll be as cordial as I can. I want to do what I can to make this right by you. You're a good mom. We're just not good married together.
Yeah.
And so let's figure this out." And so from that, and then after that, when that happened, it realized he wasn't going to be an option anymore. And then it switched from, okay, I want to work this out now. And I was like, I'm past that. Like, I can't go back. Like, I can't go back there.
You didn't need to be her second choice at that point.
Yeah. And so that was man, there was so much anger and frustration and hurt around all that I just, and it wasn't all her. It was just a lot of other just
angry too.
Yeah, I just worked really hard to try to get something, and it's like, dude, I did all the right things.
Yeah,
I didn't want to be around church. I didn't want to be around anything. I tried to go to church. I tried to do those things, but the church is really weird toward people in divorce. I was made to feel like I was a bad guy because I didn't work it out. I wouldn't do whatever it took to work it out, which people don't know what happened, and they just made assumptions. And so people still make assumptions about me and how that went and what it did. And for me, I'm like, I'm not angry at her. No. I'm not frustrated at her. And
the church just doesn't know what to do with that now, because it's more common now for someone to be divorced or in a second marriage or whatever the case may be. And the church just doesn't know what to do with that, because it's like, but did you sit down and talk with so-and-so about how they got to there? Like, did they ask for that, or did it just happen? Like, there's so many different circumstances now.
There's always more to the story. So it's like, ask some questions, get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
And figure those things out. When it happened, I was a wreck. Like, I was a wreck, emotional wreck.
Yeah.
There were times where I literally would just drink myself to sleep, and I would, because some of the stuff had happened in our house. I'd found that out because It was like I found some secret emails. It's like, oh, dig, 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 dig. Well, just tell me, man, you don't want to dig.
No.
When you're in those situations, don't dig. You don't need to know the details because that's more stuff you got to unpack.
Yeah.
It's not fun to unpack. But I didn't want to go in my house.
Furniture that.
Yeah. Well, I would just, even for me, like, I didn't want to be in the house because the house represented so much more than just, I would literally lay on my front step. Sometimes I'd prop up against the door and I would sleep outside. I slept in the garage a few times. I slept on the front porch.
In there because that home that you lived in was where you were,
That's a home we built together.
Yeah, and that wasn't your first home, but that was what I was about to say. You built that home together. There was so much intentionality in every square foot. And that's just where you thought that you were living life together.
And it took me a while before I could go back in there. But I realized pretty early on, I don't know how or why, but I realized I got to let go of this stuff and I got to figure out how to move on. Like, I can't carry this with me.
Yeah.
This pain, this hurt, this guilt is going to literally eat me alive.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to make stupid decisions. And I was making stupid decisions at that time. Because I had my kids for 7 days and they were with her for 7 days. The 7 days they weren't with me, I was an idiot. I had no self-esteem. I had no self-worth.
Yeah.
I felt horrible. So, did I make great decisions? No. Do I feel bad for a lot of those? Some, yes. I feel horrible for some of those. But some of them I'm like, I was just trying to figure out what to do. I was just trying to figure out life. And
how did you figure out that there is life after an affair is how, you could phrase it. But how did you figure out there is life after that trauma?
Oh, God. Initially I thought, man, no one's going to want me. I'm in my 30s. I got 2 kids. I don't have anything going for me right now. Like, who in the world is going to be like, oh, yeah, sign me up for that. I want to go out with that guy.
That would be me.
Yeah, because even on our second date, apparently I had really, really big trust issues, which I know I did.
Yeah, it was a situation.
Huge trust issues with trusting anyone. So it was a journey for me to let go. But I know the first step in that journey was forgiving her and forgiving him. And just saying, hey, we all, I say this in a way that I don't condone any stupid behavior, but we're probably all maybe 1 to 2 really bad decisions away from just trashing our life.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like.
And if you're not humble enough to admit that, then, we are human. And so that is the truth.
And to this day, she's remarried. I hope she's doing great. She's a great mom to the kids. And so it's like we've moved on from that. It's been 15 years ago that happened.
15 or 16. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah. So it's been a long time.
So you really did. You came to kind of a crossroads of, are you going to keep trying to, rebuild or find that trust again? Because one of your friends kind of presented you with okay, here you are. Are you going to find your own way and put yourself back together for yourself and Callie and Cody? Or are you going to keep trying to put your marriage back together? Because let's just say, if she said, I have to stop by the grocery store on the way home, or I have some errands to run, are you going to be able to trust her if that's what she says? So you had to figure out.
Yeah, it really came to that point.
Yeah.
And then it was, that was the hard part. But once I made that decision, because he did ask me that question, and I remember where we were at when he asked me that. And it really kind of was like, I don't know. I think marriages can be, I'm not saying once there's been an affair, an adultery, or whatever it may be, whatever you want to call it. I don't know the correct word.
Right.
Once that's happened, can you rebuild and have a healthy marriage? I'm sure some people do. You just gotta. You almost gotta wipe the slate clean and like this is a brand new start, and you got to be able to let go and not hold baggage.
Yeah.
Like you literally got to burn the bags and be like, this is a brand new marriage.
Literally, yeah.
And I was at a place where I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
I was like, we broke something that I just literally can't put back together.
Right.
And I don't know if I'm at a spot where I want to try to build something new in
Yeah.
this. Like, and so that was the decision that kind of led for me. And then I realized pretty quick, I mean, I was sitting at a bar with a friend of mine,
Mhm.
Dustin, and Dustin and I were just sitting there having a beer, and these girls come up to talk to us, and it was just like the weirdest thing is this epiphany going, I can hear this in my head going, what the hell are you doing
What are you
here?
doing?
Like, why are we here?
Yeah.
And I remember just telling him, I was like, hey, bro, I got to go. Like, I'm
Mhm.
done. He's like, all right, I'll go with you. We don't know where we're going.
I'm
And so I was
going
like,
home.
let's go home. And
Yeah.
so I remember getting up, and that was the last time I went into a bar for a
Yeah.
long, long time. Because I was just like, I got to make some changes. I can't do this.
Well,
Like, I can't
once
make
you had
this.
decided that you were moving on and you came to grips with your new reality, you knew that that's where you would not meet any woman that you might want to share your life
Correct.
with.
Well, yeah, because I'm like, who's going to be, like, if I meet someone, they got to be okay and they got to be good with Callie and Cody.
Yeah.
And so raising my kids with me, and that's a huge thing for me. So, yeah, that was a lot. It started me
It was a
down a
lot,
road
yeah.
of, but the forgiveness part was, it was like a weight of lifting, just carrying around a backpack full of rocks forever and just being able to take that and set it down and go like, I don't harbor hard feelings against you. I'm not mad at you. I'm
Mhm.
just, I gotta lay this down and I gotta let you go.
So usually in our podcast, we have an unpack session. And I mean, it's not really the case this time necessarily, because when I shared my forgiveness journey, there wasn't really an unpack. So I know for you that as you were moving forward and you decided that you were going to take the next step towards, whatever God might have for you, if you met someone new or whatever, but that the first big step for you was to rebuild that trust. That was kind of hard for you.
Yeah, it
Not
was hard for
kind of.
me.
It was difficult for you.
Yeah, it took me a while.
It did.
Yeah.
And we say a while. We only knew each other for 8 months when we got married, but
Okay, it feels like a while
it
to me because
felt
my
like
life, I always think my life moves in slow motion, and my kids are like, even Cody said the other day, he goes, do you ever just sit down and just chill? I was
like
like, yeah, on Saturdays when football's on, but
you
that's
don't.
about
No,
it.
you don't even sit down on Saturdays.
Yeah, I don't usually. I'm standing
No,
up.
Usually,
cheering
no.
and hooping and hollering and
Yeah, it's usually Sunday afternoons is really the only time. Like, we get home from church, we both put on pajamas and we don't move off the couch the rest of the day. Sunday is really the only day we don't move.
Yeah.
Unless we have plans or we're going to go on an adventure with family or whatever. But that was, the building trust was hard. But then also, as you're moving forward with building trust, not even just before you met me, you had to learn to trust again. But you had to build back your self-esteem. You had to build back your self-worth. And while you were still, working on those things, that took a while. And then we met, and then we had to work together. We had to work really hard for you to know that you can trust me.
Yeah. And I even still now, sometimes I deal with the self-worth issue and the
Yeah.
self-esteem stuff. I mean, I think it's a normal thing, but as a dude, that's really, really hard.
Yeah.
And how you deal with it, people deal with loss and divorce and stuff in different ways, and mine may not have been the healthiest way. I mean, I was literally, when it happened, I guarantee you 8 guys show up at my house and said, the same things happened to me. What do I do? And I was like, bro, I was drunk right here on this front door last night. I don't know what the hell to tell you. I'm trying to keep my feet under me right now. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Like, he's like, well, I don't know what to do either. Well, go figure it out. That's what I'm doing.
Do it. We don't know what to do together.
It's just
So I feel like I know that I said in the beginning I was going to rely on you to help me ask
I know
questions.
y'all been doing a great job though.
I feel like I did okay.
You did great. Well, I do have a question.
Okay.
If we still have time.
Yes.
Talking about the forgiveness, what led you to forgive? And on multiple sides, one being your father, your ex-wife, but also one very common thing, and because I know I've experienced it in my divorce and things I went through, but also in other people's divorce as well, is so many times there is such a overly harsh self-analyzation.
Oh, yeah.
And we have a hard time. One, we overthink things of what we did, every action we did. Even if you didn't even do anything wrong, it still feels like you did.
Yeah.
So how did you not only learn, or what led you to start that process of forgiving others, but then also yourself to be able
Before
to
you
move forward?
answer, I will say he still overly self-analyzes himself till this day. I mean, it's been a long time since all of that happened to him, and we've been married for almost 13 years. You still overanalyze yourself. Still.
I do.
And I feel like I just I will speak from experience. I feel like you have a lot of freedom to be who you are in our marriage. I've never asked you to be anything more than just who you are. You just show up. And I love you because of that, but you really overanalyze yourself.
I have unrealistic expectations for myself.
Yes, you do.
I expect way more out of myself. Dude, I mean, if you pick, there's a handful of people you could call right now and they would say every single bit of that. My divorce was my fault. And it took me a while to deal with that. It took me a while to deal with losing some of my best friends.
Because friends will pick a side every time.
They always pick a side. And that's, man, as crazy as it sounds, that's probably one of the harder things too, because you just feel alone. And just feels out there. I think the thing that pushed me to have to forgive was with my dad, it was my anger and that was the anger that was just growing in me that just made me, I was just I didn't mind fighting. I didn't mind if you mouthed off to me, I was like, okay, let's go.
But then you realized I was a reflection of him, and that's what you did not want to be.
Right. I was like, I am the guy that I never wanted to be. I am a mirror image of that. And so I was like, I have to stop that. And the only way to stop that was to let go of that pain and that hurt. And so that was the step for him for forgiveness. It's honestly though, with my ex-wife, it was, I'm going to have to talk to her for the next 15 years because of our kids. So I have to figure out how to let go of this so I'm not hating and angry at her every time I pick up the kids or drop the kids off.
Well, then when we have grandchildren from Callie and Cody, we're still going to be there. But what about for folks who did not have children with their exes? And you still have to deal with all those same feelings. Like what would you suggest?
Anger and frustration is like, it's like drinking poison and expecting the worst for the other person. It's like you're creating the damage for yourself. Forgiveness isn't for them. Forgiveness is for you.
For yourself, yeah.
It's totally for you to move on. Like, man, because that will affect every relationship you have from moving forward. You got to let go of that. You know, I've heard those saying so many times. You can't grab the future if you're holding on to the past.
That's so true.
And so it's like you just got to sometimes open your hands up and let go.
Yeah.
And so it's not an easy thing. By no means, and it's a process. It's not a one time I'm done. I'm good process.
And forgiveness, no matter how you arrive to the point where you have the choice whether to give it or not, or to let go of it or not, it's hard. But no matter how you get to that point, whether it be through my experience or your experience or any other experience that any of our listeners might have been through, forgiveness equals freedom.
Yeah, it's definitely freedom.
It really does.
Good. Yeah.
It's freedom.
Yeah. So my unpack, and I know we're over our time. If I'm telling you to unpack, I'm saying, man, start the steps toward forgiveness. And you're right. There's so much freedom on the other side of that. Because it really is like you're carrying around a weight on you.
Yeah.
You're carrying around this thing. Your personality is going to determine on how fast that happens for you and what that looks like. And it's always different. I am hypercritical of myself because I always, producer Michael and I are reading a book together, and I asked him the other day, we're having coffee, and I was like, you ever thought like, I got another gear? Like I have another gear. I can go faster. And he's just like, Okay. And I was like for me, it's one of those things. Like I always want to push myself to see what I could do. Like, yeah, I ran a half marathon without training. I was like, yeah, I can do that. So I ran a half marathon. Then I was like, oh, I can run another one. And so then it just led to this. The whole idea for me, though, like I do things differently in my life. I
You
get
do.
that. But for anyone out there, if you've been in this situation, you're probably more in the situation I've been in than you were with Jess.
Likely,
They're
hopefully.
both
Not
horrible.
hopefully. Oh, that's weird to say.
I know what you mean.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I know what you mean. I hope the
I
listeners
hope
do.
know
so
what you
too.
mean.
Okay. I'm
So-
like, I don't know.
No, you're good.
But divorce is so prevalent and so
It is.
there's so many blended families out there. I can tell you this: if you don't forgive your ex and you don't move past that, you're bringing all that really toxic, really bad baggage into the marriage that you have now with the present kids, with the wife.
And that's going to make it even harder.
Oh yeah, it makes it way harder. You just
Yes.
dumped a bunch of
Well,
toxicity.
imagine
in
if we held on to all the baggage we've ever accumulated over our life.
Right?
Like
I mean-
I wouldn't be able to get anywhere. Like it would be so overwhelming.
Yeah.
Because I would agree. And I mean, it's not like, not to turn forgiveness into a self-focused thing, but you become so much healthier when
Yeah.
you forgive.
You do. 100%.
You know, and I think that, yeah, if you do take a absorbed approach to forgiveness, you might not fully get to that forgiving part.
Right.
But if you can truly forgive someone else, understanding that we're all human, we
Yeah.
all have flaws. It doesn't excuse what
Right.
they did, but still be able to have forgiveness.
Forgiveness doesn't
towards them.
equal your excuse for your actions. Forgiveness is, I'm going to let go of it because
Mhm.
I know that you're human. I'm also human. I've got to let go of it. I can't carry that anymore. I can't carry
Yeah.
it.
It's letting go of a lot of things.
It is.
So, well, all right. Well,
we
went-
did it, and I asked you questions this time.
You did a good job. We went a little longer than
You
we
did
wanted
so
to.
good, Jess.
Thanks.
So I just want to say thanks everybody so much for listening, for your support. We are truly working on trying to make baggage claim better. We've been I've been working on a website at night when I'm not working.
Is true. We
Um,
do a lot of things, but he does carry a lot of the weight of the behind the scenes things.
We're trying to get some baggage claim merch out there
We
so you can wear
are.
like hats or t-shirts or sweatshirts. We'll wear them. If you want to wear one and you want to buy one, awesome. If you don't, I don't blame you. It's okay.
That's okay.
But at the same time, it's like we're working on trying to get these things out there.
Yeah.
It just takes time because we both have full-time jobs, and this is something we're doing for fun. Just help us spread the word. Please like, subscribe, pass this around, share it
Yes.
with other friends, family.
We genuinely appreciate you joining us.
Yes, thank you so much. I mean, I told Jess the other day, I was like, someone listened to your forgiveness story that was in Salem, Oregon. Someone listened to your forgiveness story that was in Pennsylvania.
Crazy.
And I was like, how cool is that your story gets to share? And so thank you guys for allowing us to share our lives and our stories.
Yeah.
We want to be respectful. We want to be honest and authentic with who we are. And so thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Enjoy and
Have a great evening.
catch you
Go
next
Dogs.
week. Go
And
Dogs.
go dogs.